In 1968, 23-year-old explorer Mark, who grew up in Moses Lake, Washington, decided to explore the deepest freshwater lake, Crater Lake. He packed his stuff into his 2015 Ford Explorer and set off for Crater Lake, where he jammed his favorite tunes for 3 hours. On day one, Mark took off on a steep, rugged trail around the lake, never staying on the beaten path. After a quiet night, Mark woke up early the next morning to go off the beaten path and find little streams to fish. He hiked about 3 to 4 hours off the main trail and found a beautiful crystal-clear brook with rapids flowing into deeper holes. Mark used a panther martin black with yellow dots and a silver spoon to mimic baitfish, but his second cast and a 1LB brookie nailed his spinner and put up a fight before Mark landed it and gutted it. Brook trout are one of the best eating trout, and Mark continued to climb up the stream to higher elevations, hitting holes along the way. As it was nearing dusk, Mark had caught 12 large brook trout and a couple of cutthroats, enough to make 3 meals out of them. Geared with only a flashlight, his pack fishing pole, and fish cleaning supplies, Mark made his way back towards his camp. However, it was pitch black and dark out, making him even more lost. Without panicking, Mark decided to set up a small camp under big pine trees and another stream he stumbled into. Giant boulders provided a nice cover to keep himself tucked away in case any large fish came into contact. Mark, feeling lost and tired, built a campfire, cooked trout, and kept the fire stoked until the sun started to rise over the mountains. At 4:45 a.m., he realized he was in a horseshoe-shaped stream that had been his previous camp. After hiking through the brush and pine trees, Mark realized that nothing looked familiar to him again. He ventured 2 times as far away from his original camp and found an old-looking cabin on the mountain. Mark felt wore down after hiking 35 miles for 2 days trying to find his way back out. He went to check if the cabin was inhabited and knocked on the door 3 or 4 times, but nobody answered. After about 10 minutes of waiting, Mark saw some old handmade furniture, a wood stove, and other miscellaneous items on the floor. It appeared like nobody had been here for years, like an old secret hunting cabin back in the woods. Mark noticed a homemade sign on the wall that read, "Lakeshore Cabin, 41." He tried the door, assuming it was locked, but it wasn't. He went inside as the night was creeping in fast and used his pack as a pillow. Mark's phone battery was in the red line when he had woke up, only 18% left, so he decided to write in his phone notes just in case something were to happen to him or he didn't make it back out. As he was doing this and finishing up, he felt like he was being watched, just had an eerie, unsettling feeling of an evil presence nearby. This gave Mark anxiety, so after noting all this in his phone, he turned it off to then save energy. His last few words on his phone when it was discovered 2 years after a missing persons report was filed said, "I am actually feeling scared, like I gotta leave now, so I'm going to leave the cabin and head west as far as I can before next nightfall. I love you, Mom and Dad, and I hope I see you guys soon." Mark's phone was found 25 miles away from Crater Lake under a group of smaller pine trees. No foul play or signs of Mark or his belongings were found. Some speculate he stumbled into a haunted cabin, while others believe he got lost and succumbed to dehydration. Despite this, no bones or clothing were found. Mark's parents were able to gather his original tent and camping supplies, as they had not been damaged by Crater Lake. The mystery remains: was Mark abducted, torn to pieces by animals, or something paranormal happened in the woods? This remains another unsolved missing person in the woods story.